Welcome to the Crypto Sphere. This is Cryptogenic coming at you. Today is Thursday, January 28th, and there's a lot going on in the market. But today is a special day before I get to some technical analysis. I want to say a couple things. First of all, I tried to live stream a few minutes ago, and I'm out of town, and I do not have good internet bandwidth, and so I kept getting kicked off the stream. It happened twice in a row, and so finally I realized that this is not a good time or place to live stream, so I thought I'd just make a quick video and get it out to you. Shout out to Crypto Violin. Bro, love your channel, love your content, and thanks for stopping by my live stream. So sorry I wasn't able to actually live stream. And shout out to everybody who joined me for that live stream. I'm going to do that more often in the near future. Listen, I want to introduce a good friend of mine. This guy actually is the guy who got me into crypto. Had I listened to him, I would have gotten into crypto a lot earlier than I got into crypto. But he finally convinced me to jump in. I bought my first cryptocurrency in July of 2017, and he had been trying to convince me to jump in since at least 2015, wouldn't you say? Mm-hmm. At least 2015. But he's got a new channel. His name is Crypto John, and his channel is called The Crypto Journey.
That's right.
And I'm going to put a link in the description. I want you to check him out. I want you to subscribe to his channel. And so happy to have with us today, Crypto John. What's up, John?
Hey, man, good to be here.
Glad to have you. Glad to have you. Now, you and I have like different approaches to the crypto market. My approach is more technical analysis. Your approach is more fundamentals. Why does the fundamental side of things interest you, make sense to you, kind of more than the technical analysis side?
First of all, I don't know technical analysis. I mean, I get it conceptually. So, but I haven't, and I've learned a little bit, but I'm not going to spend the time to get really good at it. Mm-hmm. And fundamentals, if you invest in companies that are solving real problems, mm-hmm. then they'll make money. That's just my working premise. Mm-hmm. So that's what I do. I learn from other people. I learn from them. Then I do my own research. Then I put money in. Mm. Actually, what got me in the crypto game was I put some skin in the game. That caused me to pay attention, and I learned more. Just little skin in the game. Not, like enough that it would hurt, like $100. But then, I kept learning, and then I had more confidence, and I kept going. So that's why fundamentals over technical analysis. Mm-hmm. But I think there's a value in it. It's just that's not what I'm drawn to. So I ask you about it.
Right. I think that the cool thing for me is when I look at you, just knowing you for as long as I have, your ability to see things before anybody else sees them. I think the thing that's really cool is any of us who are in crypto right now have seen something before most of the world has seen it.
That's true.
Like we're all on the cutting edge of something.
Yeah.
But you're on the cutting edge of the cutting edge because you've been in the game for so long. You've got so much experience.
That's right.
And you've got probably the most vast portfolio of anybody I know. I mean, you've been collecting this stuff, and you've got patience, like your ability to just be patient, and it's really, really exciting. What advice would you give to newcomers to the crypto game? Because I feel like there's a lot of newcomers in this space, and there's going to be more and more as we get into alt season.
If you invest $1,000 this year, you will become a millionaire. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just joking. I'm just evoking what they're thinking already.
Right.
So no, that is not true. Dispel the myth. So my thing is figure out who you are, your temperament, and go slow.
Right.
Go slow. And what I've seen is I've told people, and you might be one of them. Oh, just do this, buy it, and set it and forget it. And you're like, okay, that sounds good. But then you're a researcher, you're an experimenter, you tinker. You said sure, but then you got to tinker.
I couldn't do it.
But then you'll tinker and you'll stay in the game. Other people will be like, it goes up and it goes down, and they buy and they sell at the worst times, and they're out and they're done and they're never looking at it again.
Right. Yeah, for me, the problem was I didn't have the patience because I didn't actually understand the fundamentals of the assets I was investing in. When it would drop 30, 40%.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I didn't have the patience to stay in the market. I was like, no, I'm going to move it over here into this thing.
Oh, yeah.
Because this thing just popped 30%. But as soon as I move it into that thing drops 30%. And so then I got to move it into this thing that just popped.
Exactly. And you actually could be right. Mm-hmm. And actually, I would say it's dangerous if you're right early because you think you know what you're doing.
Exactly.
When you actually don't know what you're doing.
Right.
And I have friends, people that I love, and they're like, I'm going to do this. And it's not a bad thought. It's not a bad thought, but it is not going to make you money in the long run.
Right.
Because there are people who have studied this and know this, and they've been doing it for years, and they can make money and lose money. But I haven't been doing it for years, and you've been starting to do it. You're on maybe multiple years, so you've learned from your mistakes and you've learned from others. But that's not me. And
Right. See, my penchant for technical analysis is based on a couple things. Number one, I believe I can look at the chart and see the value of an asset in the chart. That is, if the asset has value, the chart will tell me. If the asset has no value, the chart will tell me. Like some people have said, look at this chart, and I'll look at the chart, and I'm like, the chart itself is telling me that this thing is worthless. Like I'm not putting a penny into this thing. But then if I look at the chart, that's why I'm so big on XRP, because it's like the chart is telling me that the bandwidth of this thing is huge.
Sure, yes, the bandwidth is. You're right. From the chart, when you see the all-time high in dollars.
It's not just seeing the all-time high, but seeing the trajectory. It's looking at the bullish trend line and seeing that it's been in this bullish trend.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it pops down beneath that trend, but it keeps popping back into that trend. And so seeing that it's in that bullish trajectory, even after all of the FUD and all of the, you know what I mean? That the only thing that's pulled it down slightly below that line has been BTC's recent correction.
Yes.
Which everything has been pulled down.
Yes.
But, I mean, the SEC lawsuit, had it had no value, would have destroyed it.
Yeah. You're right.
You know what I mean? And so when I look at the XRP chart, I can see value. However, the other side of it is, my philosophy has shifted over the last 3 years. It was 100% technical analysis 3 years ago. Now it's 10%.
Okay.
Like 90% hold, 10% trade.
All right. Yeah.
Why? Because I know that there's a huge upside to trading, but there's also a bigger potential downside.
Yes. Yeah. No. Even my wife, Sangshim, she's like, "Why don't we trade? Why don't we do this?" I'm like, "You're absolutely right, honey. You could make a lot more money if you trade. Totally, absolutely." So I affirm her, and then later I'm like, "But also, you could lose a lot or everything."
Exactly. And so for me, that's where I realize I'll never, no matter how good you are at technical analysis, you will never time the market perfectly. And so I get a lot of people on my channel that ask me questions like, should I wait till XRP's at the top and then change it to Bitcoin? And I'm like, yes.
Yeah.
If you know exactly where the top is.
And you don't.
You don't. And I don't.
Yes.
You know?
So there's an intuitive side to all of us that you're right, but you're just not skillful, and you don't have the capacity because you don't have the training, because you don't have the experience. So I'm not going to put dollars to learn that. Maybe down the road I will, when I have I have a good stable portfolio that I'm very comfortable with. Yeah, and I'm even open to following your pattern, take a little portion and try it. So yeah, I want to learn from you in this.
So that 10% that I trade with is the experimental part of my portfolio, where I see that there's a potential upside that's huge, but that's why I'm a midterm trader rather than a short-term trader.
What's the difference, midterm, short-term?
Short-term, you're making multiple trades per day.
Oh, gosh.
Multiple trades per week.
Yeah.
You're trying to make 10% here, 20% there. Like if you can make a 10% upside every day, you know, you're going to make a lot of money. But I neither have the time for that, nor do I have the TA skills for that. Like you've got to be a master of technical analysis with a strike rate of 50% or above.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's just very, very risky. More than 90% of day traders lose the majority of their portfolios.
Wow.
So it's like a highly skilled. But when I see an opportunity like I do when I'm looking at this XRP chart, for instance, you know, and it's like XRP BTC, when it's basically at the bottom of its range. You know, if I look at it on the weekly chart, let's say, and I realize that XRP has not been this cheap against BTC since all the way back over here in March of 2017.
We need to buy some.
Right?
That's what I'm thinking.
So trading it against BTC is a no-brainer. It's like that's an opportunity in the market. And I look at the LTC BTC chart and it's almost the same.
Wow.
It's almost just as cheap to buy LTC against BTC. So that's why I put a few $100s into my trading platform there, and I'm going to make some trades and then just wait. But it's a 3 to 9 month trade.
Okay.
It's not a 3 to 7 day trade. It's a 3 to 9 month trade. I set the trade and then I wait. And if it makes a profit, then I'll add leverage to that trade.
Okay.
And then if it makes a greater profit, I add leverage and then add stop losses to protect that profit. That's
like
my
that.
strategy.
Okay. I like it. Yeah, I totally would try that. That's cool.
Now, so you love, I know you love Digital Dave,
Yes.
right? Crazy for Cryptos.
Crazy for Cryptos.
Shout out to Digital Dave, right? We all love Digital Dave. But Digital Dave is saying something right now that he hasn't said before. Like he was saying, like when you first invited me into the market, you were like, why don't you just dollar cost average in, right?
Yeah.
Like just put a buy order every week, $15, $30,
Yeah,
whatever.
right.
But Digital Dave is not saying that. He was saying that before. But now he's saying, no, I'm putting as much money as I possibly can in the market.
What do you call it? The cash dump video where he's like, if you have 2 cars, sell 1 car.
Yeah, right.
If you have, if you don't have a roommate, get a roommate. If you don't have a job, get a. Yeah. So he hit all that to the point is put it in now because we are in the first phase where it's going to go big some point this year.
Right. So in other words, this year is the year. Like we're not going to see the kind of gains next year that we're going to see this year.
I think that's what he's saying, and that's just what I've been feeling. And so yeah, I actually been in the crypto space tangibly since 2013.
Right.
Mentally since 2012.
Right.
So, and since I've seen just patterns and news and FUD and all that stuff, and then with the institutional markets coming in, it's $1 trillion. $1 trillion.
Trillion, yeah.
A trillion. Yes. So, I mean, I remember when it was down in a few 10 billion market.
Right.
And then it started going up to 100 billion, and that was big news. And so now we're at $1 trillion.
Right.
So then I even told my wife, it's $1 trillion. We're going to blink our eyes. It's going to be 2 trillion.
Right.
And I don't know how long that blink is going to be, but I think it's going to be this year, which is just crazy.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. So then what advice would you give? It's like newcomers coming in right now, like how much should I invest?
Yes, that we are not we're not
financial advisors. We don't give financial advice. But the question is, if you were a newcomer coming in right now,
yes,
but who knew what you know now,
yes.
what would you do?
So I would secure knowledge about a portfolio that looks good and solid to me, which is that's where my money is right now. And then I would invest. That's whatever your position is. Okay, I have $1,000 I can put in the crypto world. That I'm gonna do that, or 10,000, whatever it is. It doesn't matter. It's that amount, and then I'm going to divide it between 5 or 10 coins.
Okay.
Projects, and just go all in. And then if you have a little bit, you want a dollar cost average because you don't have it right now. You're getting it from your paycheck. It's like monthly leftover that you can put in. Then put that in. But if you have a little chunk of savings that you're ready to risk, so it's an intelligent risk. It's like my kids are like, oh, put it all in XRP right now. Put it all in Bitcoin. Put it all in whatever. I'm like, no, guys. It's about risk management. You can't just put it all in. You can't sell all your other coins and put it in this. You got to have some risk management skills. So that's what I would do by having 5 or 10 projects. Digital Dave is where I'm basing most of it from. And it's been doing really well.
So what are your top 5 projects right now?
It changes. I mean, like they alternate, but I would say, so what is it? Theta, Cardano, and I'm not even going off it because I have top 10. So Theta, Cardano, I do have Ethereum. That's a sizable chunk, but I'm not buying anymore because that's like a blue chip, which is fine. It will do well. So maybe that's actually a good one for, if I were new, I would do that. What else I'm blanking here. Do you know? You kind of know what my
Zilliqa?
Oh yeah, Zilliqa, of course. Yeah, that one's been excellent. And so is that 5?
Theta, Cardano, Zilliqa, and you said Ethereum.
Ethereum, yeah, that's like a core position.
So Ethereum's like a very safe it's a safer one.
I know it did. To me, it does feel like a safe.
Yeah.
Bitcoin and Ethereum are safe. I have like a core position there
Yeah.
that I'm not adding to anymore because
Yeah.
as Dave says, Digital Dave says, like I'm going for generational wealth,
Right.
and I see it. Yeah, and now that there's that stability there, and I think it'll be more stable. But that will maybe do 2-3x this year. I don't know, but then there's others that I think will do 5 more x.
BCH.
Yeah, Bitcoin Cash. Thank you. That's actually a good one to check out because that's where I would invest in. You can kind of see, it's taking a little dip, and actually XRP. Why am I not saying XRP?
That was I'm thinking,
What am
like,
I not
we're
saying
gonna get to
XRP?
XRP.
No, of course, no. XRP, I still think is solid. If I were doing it and what I know now, yeah, that would be a sizable position of my 5 to 10 coins.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah, I think high, really high. Maybe it's hard. Like number 1 and number 2 for me are ADA and Zilliqa. And Zilliqa is high on my list because of its staking value. Like you get that 16% APR if you stake it on the Atomic Wallet.
Yep.
And the cool thing is the difference between Theta and Zilliqa is that Theta pays you in T-Fuel.
Yeah.
Which is worth a fraction of a Theta. But Zilliqa pays you in more Zilliqa.
Yeah, that's right.
And so you're actually making more in staking on Zilliqa than you are in pretty much anything else out there right now.
I think so. There might be some much smaller coin and stuff, but yeah, I think Zilliqa is the one that's a solid project that's paying well. And that is actually a good thing to look down the road how to earn some passive income through staking on good projects down the road. So the ones that we named.
Yes.
Cardano, Zilliqa, Theta, those are good solid ones that will be paying good dividends.
Right.
Passive income.
Exactly.
Worth it to check and consider and do your own research on.
Right. The other two so besides Zilliqa, Theta, and Cardano, the other two in my top 5 are Bitcoin Cash and Litecoin. I have big hopes for Litecoin, and it's another blue chip, of course.
Yeah, it is.
Right?
It is.
But I think Litecoin's going to 10x this year from where it is now.
What is it, like 150?
It's like right? Let's look at the Litecoin chart right now. 135 right now.
Okay.
I think we're going to see a $1,300 Litecoin by the end of this year, and not only that, because of the Flare network, like they announced that you're going to get free Spark token for holding Litecoin in Q2 of this year.
Awesome.
That's crazy, right?
That's awesome. Yeah.
You know,
and I had ton of Litecoin, and then I transferred it into some of the ones that I'm mentioning right now.
Yeah.
I still have a core position, but so I'm telling the ones that I would invest in right now.
Right. Yes.
But no, Litecoin is solid, good. It's like the little baby brother of Bitcoin, and so yeah, that will do great. That'll be interesting to see what happens with that.
Yeah. Well, I think we're going to see a run up as once they announce the date of that airdrop.
Yeah.
I mean, because you saw we were just talking about what Doge did. Right.
I know.
And Doge, what happened when it joined the Flare network?
216%, or that's what it showed up on my little CoinGecko app as I track it, and I'm like, whoa, I've never seen 216, because on there is only the ones that I own. And about 3 years ago, in December 2017, that's what I'm guessing. It could have been a little earlier. Peter Saddington of the Bitcoin Pub that I followed, he's like, yeah, he owns Doge. And I'm like, okay, I'll put in $500 in Doge. And I think I bought it at 0.001. And so I just forget about it, $500 if it all gone.
Right.
And it's not great, but it's not I'm not going to change my lifestyle. And then I look today and I think it's like $11,000 3 years later. That was just a fun play. That's something that I do on occasion.
Right.
Is put a small amount, but big enough that I would feel it.
Right.
And that's why 500 was definitely big enough to feel it. And then 12,000 is even bigger.
That's crazy. That is nuts.
So yeah, Dogecoin. The other one that I just remembered that I hadn't when you were talking, Chainlink.
Of course, Link.
That's the one that you gotta dip your toes in. See, I could keep adding more more, and there's other ones. And
so tell us about Chainlink, from a fundamentals analysis, from a fundamentals perspective. Why is Chainlink important?
Yes, this is off the cuff, so I was prepared.
Yes.
But we just went for. If you just see the way that it will help with just interoperability and the team. So you look at the team, look at what they have done, what they're gonna do. You can look at the roadmap, and I don't have that all on the top of my head right now, but that's what I look at: team, what they've done, and the what problems they're actually solving. And so those are some of the things, and I have my notes, and I could pull them up later. But yeah, those are the things, and some of them there's overlap in different ones.
Yeah.
But that's why when people like cryptocurrency, some of these are not most of them are actually technically not cryptocurrencies. It's just an umbrella term to cover all of them. And to see these are actually projects using different new technology, crypto technology, distributive ledger technology, blockchain, all those things. And so, yeah, Chainlink will be really big. And what's one that's going to be added to Coinbase that I think will be potential? You know, they always have
Don't you
these
think
rumors.
Theta is gonna
Something like Theta could be on there. I just saw T Fuel was on crypto.com, which is
really?
Yeah, which is kind of cool. And so I'm like, oh, I should.
But is it really? I mean,
yeah, it's not an IOU.
Yeah, is it like Robinhood where you don't actually own the asset?
That's like PayPal.
Oh, is that PayPal's model as well?
I think yeah, because you cannot
transfer it out. You don't get a wallet.
No.
Yeah, it's not yours. They're selling air.
Right, but yeah, it is interesting. It's just it'll just track the asset price.
Yeah.
But you can't actually all the things they've said in gold and silver and crypto. If you don't hold the keys, you don't own the coins.
Right. Last question I'll ask you: why do you still believe in XRP? I mean, did you hear about the second lawsuit?
Oh yeah, whatever. Well, you've been in it long enough. FUD. Which is so I'd like to, maybe I should do a video on all the terms you need to know the basics.
Yes, do that video.
FUD, DYOR, HODL. Okay, so FUD, fear, uncertainty, doubt. And fear, uncertainty, doubt doesn't mean there's not actual truth to it, but it creates all this kind of like causes people to freak out. And you know who causes most people to freak out is the little guy who's not trained in the fundamentals, honestly. And then they freak out and they sell to the big guy at a low price, at a discount. And so, yes, XRP lawsuits, 7 lawsuits, whatever, but if you see the problem it will solve, which is cross-border payments, among others, that's just one of the first products that Ripple will have. XRP is a token. So the actual lawsuit is against Ripple.
Right.
XRP will exist whether Ripple does or not.
Exactly.
So that's one. And then 2, if you see Ripple, who's on the team and where Brad Garlinghouse and other people, who they're interacting with, what boards they're on, World Economic Forum, IMF, all these things. These are the big people who are making things happen in the financial world, in the political world. And if you ignore that, you're foolish.
Right.
So, and you can gain wisdom, like, okay, these people are like, they're playing with the big boys. They are the big boys.
Right.
So that's just like, that gives me confidence.
Right.
So I don't know what's going to happen, but I highly doubt XRP and Ripple are going anywhere. And then, I have theories like, oh, who knows? This could just be shake out the little guys, give their money to the big guys, and then it'll take off. And then the big guys, the banks and all these things can buy it up real cheap. And then this 25-cent XRP, people are speculating crazy numbers. Who knows? I mean, even if it goes to $1, fantastic. People are saying way higher.
I'm looking for a $29 XRP by year end.
Yeah? That's
Absolutely.
what you see.
That's
that
my prediction.
Your TA shows that.
Yeah, my price prediction is, and I have a whole mathematical equation for getting to that number, but it's based on the Bitcoin chart.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and so it's based on actually a $100,000 Bitcoin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep,
and so if you've got a $100,000 Bitcoin and a 22,000 Satoshi XRP.
Why 22,000?
Because 24,000 Satoshis, sorry. 24,000 Satoshis was the highest value of XRP against Bitcoin. That was its all-time high. So if XRP simply returns to its ATH against Bitcoin, it's going to be up here at about 24,000 Satoshis.
Okay.
And if Bitcoin is $100,000, then you've got a $29 XRP.
Well, why will it be at its highest?
What do you mean?
Why will XRP be at its all-time high against Bitcoin at that point, at some point?
Well, because we're just looking at the market cycle.
Okay.
It just keeps, it breaks out, it breaks down, it consolidates.
Gotcha.
It breaks out, it breaks down, it consolidates. So the only way that doesn't happen to XRP in this next market cycle is if the fundamentals break down. If it could be proven that XRP doesn't actually do what it does, right, and the fundamentals of XRP break down, then the project collapses. But the actual fundamentals of XRP have not changed.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So like you talked about FUD, fear, uncertainty, and doubt, doesn't change what XRP is.
Yeah, right.
It just changes what people say about XRP.
Yes, right. The sentiment.
And so because we believe in the fundamentals, we believe that it's getting ready to enter into its cycle, that it's going to participate in altcoin season just like all the rest of the altcoins. And what do? They press to new all-time highs. They revisit their last all-time high, or they break above it. But we keep looking at the USD chart.
Yes.
And so we're looking for a $3 XRP, $3.50 XRP. But I'm looking at the BTC chart.
That's cool.
So I'm looking at a 24,000 Satoshi XRP, when right now we've got a 794 Satoshi XRP. So I'm looking for a 4,000% increase. I'm not looking for, a 1,000% increase on the USD chart.
Yeah, that's great. And actually, that's not a bad idea to compare your portfolio against BTC.
Right. That, to me, the value of any cryptocurrency is not in its US dollars value. It's in its BTC value.
Right. That's smart. Good idea. Always compare it to that. And then some people only compare it to that.
Right. Thank you. Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us today. Just to kind of give you my quick technical analysis before I end this video. I know I told you I set this price range here at $26,368. But it looks like Bitcoin is trying to break out again. If it can break above this level here, this resistance level of $33,669, it may just continue up from here. Who knows? If it bounces off that resistance level and continues downward, then the correction can continue. Who knows? We're going to keep our eye on this market. We're going to see where it goes. But that's all I got for you today. Thanks so much for joining me. I pray that you would sleep in peace every night, wake up in joy every morning, and walk in love every day. This is Cryptogenic signing out.